TV channel 421, Go TV channel 125 and around the world on myjoyonline.com. Hello and welcome. I am Amisi Nyamiche Thompson. This afternoon, Ghana escalates its maritime boundary dispute with neighboring Togo to international arbitration, citing 8 years of unsuccessful negotiations. Where details and analysis coming up this afternoon. Center for Democratic Development CDD Ghana flags Boko conflict as one of the major conflict security challenges of the John Mahama government as it calls for an alternative permanent solution to the menace.
We should expect the government from year 2 onwards, and we're already in year 2, to continue to find alternative mediation efforts.
We have details of the CDD scorecard of the first day of John Mahama's second coming, plus an assessment of the Z9 clash report. Also this afternoon, chop bars across Ghana set for a facelift as the Ghana Tourism Federation rolls out plans to transform them into premier culinary destinations. Joy News, independent, fearless, credible. Please stay. This afternoon, it's Ghana versus Togo, not on the football pitch, but over a maritime boundary dispute. The government says it is referring the matter to international arbitration under the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea, UNCLOS, after nearly a decade of stalled bilateral talks. In a statement, officials say the decision is aimed at preventing further tensions and avoiding potential incidents between state institutions of the two countries operating in the disputed waters. Let's explore the area under dispute, and join me via Zoom is my colleague James Aveji. So James, what do we know about this area under dispute?
Well, so this is on the sea, the border between Ghana and Togo. But just to refresh our memories, there was a similar case between Ghana and Ivory Coast, which had been settled just a few years ago under the previous government, where Ghana had which was eventually, that matter between the two countries was eventually taken to the International Tribunal of the Law of the Sea, UNCLOS. The tribunal ruled largely in Ghana's favor in that particular case, and the dispute area covered parts of Ghana's Jubilee oil field, the Thane area oil field, and other offshore exploration blocks. And so that was the decision. The only difference is that this particular issue we're talking about between Ghana and Togo has not been taken to UNCLOS, but rather the United Nations Court of the Law of the Sea instead of the International Arbitration Court. And so the current situation, however, we've been trying to track down if there's any history around it. There's no available public data yet on any evidence confirming the presence of oil in the disputed region that is being litigated now. It is rumored that there is oil in that region which might be fueling the dispute between the two countries. That said, the maritime boundaries are not only about oil. There are also other significant economic activities in such areas, particularly fishing by persons of these two countries, which is vital for the livelihood and food security of both Ghana and Togo. And so that's the available data we have now around it, and I'm sure subsequent information would give us more details on why the two countries are in loggerheads and why the two are dragging this between each other.
James, thank you very much. We have more on this on myjoyonline.com and more in subsequent bulletins. The 24-Hour Economy Authority says the bill that has been signed into law gives it legal effect to enter into agreements and deliver on its mandate. The 24-Hour Economy Program was a major campaign promise of the NDC prior to the 2024 general election to create jobs and address the high rate of unemployment in the country. President John Mahama on Thursday signed the 24-Hour Economy Authority Bill into law paving the way for the full implementation of that policy. On Pulse, on the JoyNews channel, the authority's Chief Program Officer, Abdul Nasir Alidu, said the initial concept of the one job, three people operating in 3 shifts has not changed. He explained that this means the government will provide incentives to the private sector to boost productivity.
And as a secretariat, you wouldn't be able to sign agreements, get into agreement with partners and all of that. So, the most important thing for us is that now we can enter into legal agreements. We can actually do a lot of things on our own as an authority. The other thing is it gives permanence to the 24 economy program because you have an authority right now that, has been charged, that's backed by law and been charged to implement this program. So it gives permanence to the program. It gives legal form to the authority or to the program so that we can enter into agreements. And I guess beyond everything, it signals that we are ready to hit the ground running.
And Abdul Nasser,
that's what it really means.
Right. What preparatory works were done before the signing of this new bill?
Well, I think since President Mahama came into power and the 24 Economic Secretariat got put in place, we've done quite a bit. The first part of what we had to do was the engagement process. There are a lot of stakeholders that we needed to speak to in the process of trying to understand what really had to be done if we want to have a 24-hour economy program, or if we want to establish a 24-hour economy in Ghana. So some of the preparatory work has involved, meeting with industry, meeting with people, which then culminated in the program that was launched in July last year. Beyond that, we've also been doing a lot of work around ensuring that we're able to take away the constraints that businesses face in growing. So, for instance, we've worked on an incentive program that has been submitted to the Ministry of Finance. Energy has always been a big issue for industry. We have been working to identify an investor that would come in and help us to significantly bring down energy costs for participants within the 24-hour economy program.
How will this impact the private sector? The president of GUTA, Clement Boateng, joins me via Zoom now for more on this. Clement, grateful for joining us this afternoon. What are you expecting with the coming into effect of this law? Clement, kindly unmute and speak to us.
Can you hear me?
Better, much better, yes.
Yeah. Good afternoon, and thank you for having me. Yeah, I think we are all aware that this is a major flagship, program announced by the NDC government in their manifesto. And so when they assumed power, everybody was expecting that a major policy of this nature will be implemented as soon as possible. But we shouldn't also forget that a policy of this nature, there is a lot of work that needs to be done. We have to talk about even the framework aspect of it, and then the legal implication. So I think they were doing all these things, and by God's grace, they are finished. And then the president has also assented to it. So it has paved the way for its implementation, and I think it's a good news to the private sector as well as the business community in general. We think by paving the way for its implementation, it is then going to boost the economic transformation and the industrialization that we all desire as a country. It will also create a sustainable employment by introducing the multi-shift system, that is the 3-shift system that we all, aspire to achieve. It will also enhance productivity and also promote economic growth. And then when we are able to, set up factories as a way of industrialization, It will also enable government to get more revenue by way of the jobs that it will create, and also let government also get its revenue by way of taxes. So I think by and large it is a good news, and then we all have to help to make sure that this 24-hour economy is achievable.
Well, for you in particular, how immediate can you jump onto this policy for us to see its implementation?
Hello?
Are you able to hear me?
No, please repeat the question.
Yes, I want to know how immediate you jump onto this policy. Does it begin immediately for you, in particular, your businesses?
Guta as an organization had already, had some talks with the 24-hour secretariat. So we have even, presented some business proposal to the secretariat already. And now that the president has, assented to it, I think we have to, go into action because some of our members want to, migrate from the retail business or the buy and selling to the manufacturing of electrical cables. Some also want to go into the manufacturing of servicing parts for vehicles, such as oil filters, brake pads, bushings. Some also want to go into manufacturing of toiletries. So it's business as usual. And like I'm saying, when it has been signed by the president into law, we have to, go straight into business by going back to the secretariat and see how it will be transformed into action.
Thank you, Clement Boateng, president of GUTA. Now, chop bars across Ghana are set for a major transformation as the Ghana Tourism Federation rolls out a nationwide plan to reposition the popular local eateries as top-tier culinary destinations. A team has begun engaging chop bar operators across the country to gather insights on how to improve standards and enhance customer experience. The initiative focuses on practical but impactful upgrades, improved hygiene, cleaner environments, better seating arrangements, and proper washroom facilities. Ghana's hospitality sector has also been crying out for relief. High utility tariffs and pricey financing are squeezing hotels dry. Hoteliers Association President Dr. Edward Nyameke is calling for a switch to renewable energy to cut costs and standardized training to boost service.
To do with the utilities, and that's why we talked about the need for us to invest in renewable energy, which will come at a cheaper cost. Okay, so that aspect too must be addressed, and of course the customer service. I mean, that's one area that people complain a lot. You go to various hotels and you receive different services, and then people complain a lot. So we are looking for opportunities where we can have standard training for the hotels so that the pressure on the upmarket hotels will be a bit relieved, because we have very good budget 1-star, 2-star hotels which offer similar services that will please our customers. So, but we need to invest in that as well. And of course, we are looking for opportunities for expansion of hotels. I mean, you have a number of hotels in the country who have the opportunity to expand, but investment issues becomes a challenge. For instance, interest rates and all that. So once there's opportunity to expand, the potential to develop the industry is huge, is massive. So if we have the opportunity to invest, why not? We have to take advantage of it.
On the phone lines now and speak to President of the Ghana Tourism Federation, Seth Okran. Now, Seth, which chop bars qualify for this upgrade?
Thank you very much. I think that currently we are working on classifying the chop bars through the various presidents of the various chop bar associations in Ghana, such as the Indigenous Caterers Association, the Heritage Chop Bar Association. So we are working with the association to, one, confirm the data they have and reclassifies the chop bar, because oftentimes we get tourists in the country and they walk to a chop bar, and if the service isn't good, they classify it, even they put it on social media and say, we went to a restaurant and, you know, the food or the service was bad. So that is one thing we are doing to reclassify chop bars. Of course, we collaborate with Ghana Tourism. We will collaborate with Ghana Tourism Authority to do that. So we have grade A, B, and C. That is one. And the second thing we are working on, also through the various presidents of the associations, are that we realize that the chop bars are struggling, especially where the food are prepared from. And we have different type of these chop bars, some of which carry the food on their head to go and sell. Some are which sell the rice or the wache at a joint. But all these people, where they cook those particular food from, we are very particular with that. So we are helping them, and most of them don't qualify for financing because of how their books are kept.
Right.
So Ghana Tourism Federation, which is the voice or umbrella body of all the trade associations within the tourism sector, we have a finance and investment committee. This committee is working closely with the leadership of the chop bars to help them how to keep simple bookkeeping, and also we will assess who qualifies. So the GATOF will make a one unified financing, we can call it operating list, which one of my members, which is the Car Rental Association, for example, they do operating list with the banks. They will sign a loan agreement with the bank, get the asset for them, use the asset to work and pay over a period. The same structure we're trying to introduce with the chop bar people, because they are already in business. So once they are already in business, all we are helping them to do is restructure that business so it will be attractive to pay the loan over a period. So the remodification or the redesign of the chop bar, we're going to use environmentally friendly materials to redesign it, and it will based on each location what is required. Currently, my teams are working on the designs, because one design will not fit all. Working on the design, and there is a lot of companies have showed interest to come on board, and some of the financial institutions also have shown interest. You will agree with me that. So, Seth, what
we also want to understand is how will this upgrade be funded?
Thank you very much. That's what I'm coming to. You agree with me that interest rates have dropped drastically, and treasury bill rates have dropped and all that. It means that banks have to find other ways, other means of selling their money, right? So these chop bars are already in business. Like I said earlier, we are helping them streamline their books, and they will pay either daily or weekly until the time they finish payment. Don't forget that that asset is becoming more of like a collateral, you know, to the bank. So that is the structure we are putting in place. So it is self-financed. We are also calling on donor partners, because these chop bars, 90% of them are operated by women. And how do we empower our women in tourism? Because they feed the nation. All of us eat from one chop bar or the other. Not only tourists, but even a Ghanaian worker that goes to work have to eat. So it is very important to together, we're coming together with all stakeholders to make sure that where the food is cooked from, where we sit and eat, and it becomes sustainable.
So what we want to very, very briefly, so that we can get this across. What are the timelines for the upgrade, and are you looking at a nationwide upgrade?
No, we're going to start the pilot project from Greater Accra, and like I said, we are working with the various presidents, and we are looking at by August all the drawings and MOUs will be signed, and we can roll it out by the last quarter of this year.
Right. Grateful for your time, Seth Okran is president of the Tourism Federation. Now, the Center for Democratic Development, CDD Ghana, has flagged the Boko conflict as one of the major security challenges of the second John Mahama administration's first year. The center says managing the conflict in the Boko area alone cost the country 6 million Ghana cedis every month. This was contained in the CDD's first-year assessment report of the first-year performance of President John Mahama's second term of office, where CDD says prolonged unresolved land issues, ethnic conflicts became the major threat in 2025. Director of Advocacy and Policy Engagement, Kojopo Asante, says that the Boko crisis alone cost the nation 6 million cedis. Listen.
The key challenges that we have with domestically, of course, is the land conflicts, the chieftaincy conflicts, most of them that are linked. Boko is an ongoing one, and really the challenge of trying to mitigate, resolve these conflicts, and the cost that it is imposing on us. Because now we've sort of moved from some sort of, episodic, sporadic engagement to more having boots on the ground, having, units in all these conflict zones. But as has been shown, Boko Security Task Force was costing 6 million a month, and that's, I don't know even if that's a conservative estimate. But how many, you are sending 400 troops to this conflict, to that conflict, to that? How are you going to, sustain this over time? What are we doing in investing in really the preventative parts, the conflict resolution parts, and so on?
Our security consultant, Colonel Retired Festus Abaji, says government must look for a better alternative to resolving the conflict permanently.
Concerns me a bit is the framing of the conflict as a rule of law question. The Boko crisis, anybody who understands the history, goes beyond rule of law. So we should expect the government from year 2 onwards, and we're already in year 2, to continue to find alternative mediation efforts to resolve the conflict. Because the resort to the rule of law, i.e. enforcing whatever the courts have decided, can only go on for about 8 more years. At any time the government changes, we can be sure that there is going to be a deepening of the crisis.
Well, let's cross over live to Pram for the commissioning of B5 Plus Limited Steel Ball Mill and Section Mill Manufacturing Plant.